Regulators have designed Schedule P so that they can monitor a company's loss reserve adequacy and solvency. Regulators use data from the schedule to calculate IRIS ratios and risk-based capital. The IRS relies on Schedule P for certain tax calculations. Other parties, such as rating agencies and investors, may also use this data, so it's very important to understand this schedule. Let's look at Schedule P Part 1. Notice that there are several rows of data. Schedule P groups experience by the year in which the premiums were earned and the losses were incurred. Data grouped this way is often called accident year data. Columns 1 through 3 show the premiums earned. Columns 4 and 5 show total loss payments, while columns 6 through 9 show total loss expense payments. The middle section shows the reserves held as of the statement date. Columns 13 through 16 show reserves for losses, while columns 17 through 22 show reserves for loss expenses. The bottom section shows the total loss and loss expense dollars in columns 26 through 28. Columns 29 through 31 show loss and loss expense ratios. Note that regulators often look at the premiums earned to find companies with rapid premium growth or significant use of reinsurance. Regulators will also look for trends in loss and loss expense ratios to get a sense of price adequacy and profitability. Now let's look at Schedule P Part 2. This schedule shows the incurred losses and defense and cost containment expenses, net of reinsurance, that were reported at each year end. The data is presented in a triangle format since more values have been reported for older accident years. For instance, in the 2014 annual statement, 10 values have been reported for accident year 2005, which is in row 2, while only 1 value has been reported for accident year 2014, which is row 11. Columns 11 and 12 show how the particular accident year has developed during the latest 1-year and 2-year periods. The totals over all accident years for columns 11 and 12 are referred to as the 1-year development and the 2-year development, respectively. Regulators use these totals in several IRIS ratio tests in order to assess management's ability to reasonably estimate loss reserves. A positive figure means that past loss reserves have been understated. Regulators often assume that this understatement will continue in the future, and thus the current balance sheet is not as strong as reported. A positive figure also implies that past surplus and profitability have been overstated. The company may have written more business than it should have, and at prices that were too low. Both of these factors can lead to company insolvency. Let's look briefly at Parts 3 and 4 of Schedule P. Part 3 shows cumulative payments only. It does not contain any reserves like in Part 2. Part 4 shows the bulk and IBNR reserves set by management as reported at each year end. Actuaries and other interested parties will often use the triangles by line of business from Part 3 to make their own reserve projections, and may compare these projections to the company reserves held in Part 4. This concludes my overview of Schedule P. Regulators have designed this schedule to give a wealth of information that they can use to evaluate a company's loss reserve adequacy and solvency. My name is Steve Gresham. I am the Chief Consulting Actuary at Demotech. Thank you for watching.